Shawty, you on it? What's happening? Meet me in the lobby, push the start, no capping. You're hotter than wasabi, dripping you down, so lavish. You got the memo copy, so I'm saying, what's happening? I'll be nice if you get naughty, hold up. Pedal to the metal, speeding, yeah. I'ma give you every reason, yeah. Hop in the coupe, speeding, yeah. Shawty, you got every reason.
Question, you been watching the George Floyd trial and shit?
I've just been watching here and there. You?
Yeah, I've been watching it.
Tell me something about it.
Well, from my perspective, I saw new evidence and shit, and new shit that they've been.
Okay, well, let me rewind here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that actually happened?
What you mean, the conspiracy shit, or it playing out genuinely?
It playing out genuinely, like this actually happened. This is a regular.
I think it's half and half.
Huh?
I think it's half conspiracy, half genuine. I think it's like, you know how like a carjacking turns into like an armed robbery, turns into a murder type shit. Like I feel like that's what kind of happened. Like they try to set this shit up, and then this shit just, and then they set this shit up and expected shit to happen, but then shit got out of proportion.
Do you think George Floyd is a real person and actually dead in his passing?
Mm-hmm. He's that person.
He's that person. Cause I know I have a lot of coworkers that believe that shit.
No, he died. He dead.
That shit was staged. Actors, everything.
A lot. That's the conspiracy shit. I think that shit is staged, because the first thing that was weird to me when I saw the original video before the conspiracy shit started coming out, the paramedics, nigga.
Yeah.
I was like, nigga, that's a sheriff shit. Like, why the paramedics got a bulletproof vest and it's brown? Usually it's blue or white or something along the lines of the city colors or paramedic colors. Like, firefighters got red, cops got black. Like, you feel me? That's the first thing I noticed. And I'm like, oh, someone fucked up. They try to call in someone.
But my thing is,
and try to clean it up.
Something that big, right? Don't get me wrong. I remember I felt the same way, right?
The devil's in the details, bro.
Huh?
The devil's in the details.
But I feel like something like that, a person to pull off, they would consider something that simple. Like, I don't think to stage something like that, right? For one, you have to have unbelievable skill, for one, because the shit looked real. Like, it was unbelievably real, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for them to make a mistake like that on the paramedics, like, in my head I've been thinking, like, man, what's more possible? They didn't think about that and let that slide, which would be stupid, right? And almost like an impossible, mistake to make. If you're going that big, you gotta make it. I would think they would make it perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let me explain to you. From what I've seen on the trial, my opinion and shit, based on like the new footage that I saw and shit, George Floyd was either a recovering addict or still an addict. The way he was moving around in the store video, because I never saw the in-store video until the court shit.
Oh, I didn't.
So he was acting a little, froggy, recounting his money and shit. So just putting in real-time perspective, they thought that he was, an addict or whatever the case. They thought they profiled him, and they said his money was fake, so then they didn't want to give him service. Because they come to find out the money was real.
Oh, I didn't know.
So it started off with a fake 20.
Yeah, I thought the 20 was real though?
Yeah, the 20 found out to be real. So I'm assuming that they didn't want to serve him because of how he was acting, assuming, profiling him like he was an addict or some shit. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just assuming based on the video. And it was like, they didn't want to deal with that. So they called the cops. And from that point on, it went left. That's what I think. the cops, you know, arrested him. From when they call the cops, that's when you see all the videos and
for
shit.
this whole thing to happen, right? George Floyd would have to be involved in it.
Yeah.
How do we explain George Floyd's involvement? Did they pay him to do this?
No, his involvement is the conspiracy side that I went down a rabbit hole on. I didn't think this on my own until I started like digging more. Was he was part of, let's say, I'm pretty sure I'm getting a name wrong, but let's say he's part of the Illuminati, right?
Right.
He was a sacrifice to start, I wouldn't say start a race war, but to start some shit. So him being at the right place at the right time was a perfect excuse for whatever to happen, to let the bullshit happen so it can start like riots or disruption, you know. But the other side to it is he was just going by his day and
so question,
shit just happened.
You think if George Floyd wasn't in the Illuminati or part of any of that shit, he wouldn't have died?
Probably not, because again, we're not saying it is the Illuminati, but just, you know, throwing shit at a wall. He had, I forgot what the name of it, but he had a tattoo of on his chest that was symbolic to whatever he was in. We're just gonna say Illuminati, right? And going down a rabbit hole, things like this, examples like this, as far as black people dying in police hands, not everyone, but certain ones, it was a little iffy. And they said about Trayvon Martin, which hit me hard. I'm not saying I wanted to believe or didn't want to believe, but his dad was in let's say the Illuminati as well.
Right.
Masons. And he used his son.
Masons.
Yeah, Masons. Let's say that. Freemason. And they used his son, which wasn't his blood son, like they said it was his stepson. Yeah. And used him as you know, sacrifice. If that's true, then possibly the George Floyd shit is true. Because they both lead down the same path. If it's not true, then like I said, it's just right place, right time. But the George Floyd, it's very shameful because they're trying to defame his character, no matter what his character was. They're trying to defame his character despite the situation. Because it's like, bruh, let's say even if he was doing coke, crack, heroin, Molly, Adderall, acid, shrooms, all at one fucking time. That doesn't give him the right that doesn't give the police the right to put a knee on this nigga neck and kill him. He don't deserve to die. He didn't even deserve jail time. I don't even think nothing should have happened. A discussion should have happened, bro. Exactly. A conversation should have happened.
Yeah, for help.
You feel me?
Anything.
For help, for understanding, for clarity. Because it's like, damn, that shit is crazy, bro. That shit is just wild to me. But yeah, though. So George Floyd shit, that shit is just, you know. Oh, like I was saying, they're trying to defame him. Like, even if he was all that shit don't warrant a death. Exactly. Him to die, that shit don't warrant for him to be treated like that, to be abused by the system like that, to be disrespected like that. None of that shit. Like, real.
Shawty, you on it? What's happening? Meet me in the lobby, push the start, no capping. You're hotter than wasabi, dripping you down, so lavish. You got the memo copy, so I'm saying, what's happening? I'll be nice if you get naughty, hold up. Pedal to the metal, speeding, yeah.